Okay, so let's talk numbers. You since you were last here, and you came in with the total amount of political contributions made, and the point you made last time you were here was how substantially that Adrian Perkins had outraised, how outfunded incumbent Mayor Ollie Tyler. It's gotten worse, hasn't it? As far as the one-sidedness of the monies raised?
Reportedly. We don't have any additional financial reports. Last time we had that interim financial report, and he had outraised her by $30,000. I do know, or have been advised, that Adrian raised over $100,000 in a 3-day period.
Whoa. Come again at me there, amigo.
$100,000.
That Adrian did.
Adrian Perkins raised $100,000 in a 3-day period last week. $100,000.
What details? Where was this? Who are these people?
A lot of the people were Taliaferro supporters.
You know, that's interesting. Let's talk about that for a second, because I had said for 2 weeks now that the block of voters that both need, certainly the ones that Miss Ollie needs to have a chance, is that combined 35% of Taliaferro and Savage voters, which basically is conservative Republicans. And I don't know, maybe behind the scenes Miss Ollie is working that group, but my inclination is that group of voters, their first instinct would be either to stay home or go Adrian. What do you think?
The same. I mean, if they voted against Ollie the first time, why would they change horses? Only if they had a major reason to do so. And I don't see any major reasons to do so other than, well, I don't. I mean, I don't see a lot of people shifting when.
Do you think those voters, do you think the Taliaferro voters, do you think the Savage voters, do you think those Republican voters are more inclined at this point to not vote or to cast a vote in the election at all?
They're going to vote. I mean, Republicans, there'll be a lower percentage, but the Republican voters, especially the Taliaferro ones, are going to vote because that's part of their constitution. Plus, we have 4 council races, and 3 of them have Republicans in it.
Okay, so here's Cedric Glover last week on Facebook. And he's got a picture. In fact, he shared an article I had written at KEELnews.com. And my headline was, did GOP voters put Adrian Perkins over the top? And you and I have talked about, Aaron and I have talked about ad nauseum the number of conservative Republicans that I know that had decided to vote for Adrian in the primary. And their logic was, as was backed up by Scott Hughes, well, they wanted to vote for somebody they felt had a chance to win. Here's what Cedric wrote. Who are Trump's supporters going to be voting for to be the next mayor of Shreveport? Why are you voting for the same person? What's Cedric saying there? Is he saying to people who might be thinking about specifically Democrats or his constituents who might be thinking about voting for Adrian instead of Ollie? Is he saying, oh no, those Trump people, those racists, those bigots, those Nazis, they're thinking about voting for Adrian and probably will? Is that who you are too? Is that kind of what he's saying? Or is, as Matt has speculated, something a little more subtle?
I don't know what Cedric is trying to say. He's trying to stay relevant. And I don't read his Facebook posts, but for most people I talk to, they don't consider him relevant. He had a candidate in the race with Stephen Jackson, and he abandoned that candidate. And I think he just likes to stay on Facebook like he did when he was mayor. He loves social media. He loves to stir the pot. But I don't know what he's thinking. I don't think he has much following, and I think he's just trying to stir the pot.
Well, let me try this from the KEEL text line, Shreveport Security Systems text line. We got this last week. I'm not going to tell you who it is. It is a name you would know. I think Glover might be referring to the fact that it was a group of Republicans who brought Adrian Perkins here to run in the first place, in cooperation with the usual old guard Shreveport Democrat leadership types. It's those wealthy conservatives who have backed Perkins and encourage all the undecideds to break for Perkins that Glover is talking about, in my opinion. What do you think about that? Specifically, the Republicans who brought Perkins here to run in the first place. Is there any?
I seriously doubt that they brought him here. If you remember back early this spring, there was a meeting at the Petroleum Club with a bunch of business people who may have been Republicans that invited Perkins to speak, and they were really disenchanted with Ollie Tyler. I don't believe they recruited I don't think they even knew Perkins was on the radar screen.
Hang on.